So I want to get to this Trump stuff, and Danny Tarkanian is going to be coming up here at the bottom of the hour, and we're going to get into all of it. But, he reiterated that the call that he had with the Ukrainian president was to investigate the Bidens, and now he says China should investigate it too. And listen, there's no evidence that the Bidens did anything wrong, at least no public evidence. There's no evidence that Hunter Biden ever broke the law. And even if he did break the law, that's not the point. We're going to get to that coming up at the bottom of the hour. But I want to talk here briefly about some morons that were at the Reno airport yesterday. I want to talk about how some people want to harass politicians. I am not a big Elizabeth Warren fan. I never have been. She's winning in most of the polls right now, by the way, which is incredible, and all due respect to her for that.
Although Jacob Wool did just come out with some information that she had an affair with a Marine.
Yeah, for those of you who have no idea who Jacob Wool is, I don't even want to talk about that because it's irrelevant. But anyway, in regards to Elizabeth Warren, she's at the Reno airport yesterday. She made a stop in Reno. She was in Las Vegas for that gun safety discussion that took place yesterday. And there's a bunch of people at the airport that are screaming at her and following her and stalking her. A bunch of people wearing MAGA hats that are saying, don't impeach, don't impeach. First of all, I think these people need to get a life. They're morons. I would say the same thing if they were Democrats. But this is harassment. I want to play you a little bit of this audio. So this is Elizabeth Warren arriving at the Reno airport and having to deal with a bunch of Trump supporters that are a bunch of losers that have nothing better to do than to scream at her and harass her. Here it is.
Don't impeach!
What a bunch of losers. Okay, this goes on for a while. Now, listen, if they're standing in one spot and they want to scream dumb things, I still think they need to get a life. But to set the scene for you, she's walking to her vehicle in the airport. They're following her with these Trump signs. They're screaming at her, don't impeach. And some of these dumb Trump supporters are doing the same thing. Now, I'm not calling everybody dumb that supports Trump, but these people are absolutely dumb. They're screaming to her, Pocahontas, don't impeach, and they're following her through the airport. These people are idiots. How can anybody, if you're on the right and you support Donald Trump, do you support this? Would you be one of those morons holding up a sign, wearing a MAGA hat, screaming at her, calling her Pocahontas, don't impeach? Do you really think that Elizabeth Warren is going to walk through the airport and she's going to say to herself when she gets into her car, I think those people were right. I was thinking about impeaching Donald Trump. I was for this inquiry. But since we had about 12 or 15 Nimrods that are Trump supporters that were screaming at me, don't impeach, maybe I should change my mind. I better go back and take a look at this thing. Gosh, those people might be right. Is there anybody that thinks that would happen? How low of an IQ do you have if you actually think that? I mean, am I wrong on this? Listen, I never really understood picketers. I never really understood people that go on strike. I remember the culinary union here in town went on strike. And what did they decide to do? Well, some of these people went onto the Las Vegas Strip and held up traffic. I'm thinking, you are an idiot. If you want to go on strike and you believe in your cause, that's fine. But why do you have to inconvenience other people when you go on strike, right? It's like when you go into a casino or go to a hotel and you see people with megaphones screaming and yelling. That's trash to my ears. I don't want to hear that nonsense. That's your personal business. You deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. And to me, this is another level. This is even worse. She's at the airport walking to her car. We're talking about Elizabeth Warren, and this was in Reno. It makes us look bad as Nevadans. It makes us look bad. And like I said, you got about 12 or 15 morons that have nothing better to do with their time than to call her out something racist. Yes, I do think Pocahontas is racist. Screaming at her, don't impeach, holding up their signs. How could anybody on the right, how could any Republican support that? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. If you disagree, give me a phone call right now. The number to call is 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call is 257-5396 if you want to be a part of the program. Yes, I think if you hold up signs and you're screaming at a Democrat or Republican, in this case screaming, don't impeach, and you're yelling at her, Pocahontas, that is harassment. You are a loser, and you need to get a life.
It sounds like pretty standard protesting to me, and I believe that the Pocahontas thing is a joke because she claimed she was Native American, and she's actually 0.00001%.
But that's irrelevant.
Now, if she was actually Native American and she was called Pocahontas, that would be like clearly Native American. That could be considered race, but she's not actually. It's a joke. That's all it is. They're making fun of her for claiming that for trying to generate favor from society, but by pretending to be Native American when she actually was not. So I don't have a problem with that. Nor do I have a problem with protesters. It's just standard protesters. That happens everywhere all the time.
Okay, first of all,
and that's their God-given right. I mean, that's their constitutional right to protest.
I didn't say it wasn't their constitutional right. I think they're losers for doing it.
That's
number
fair.
one. Number two. Just because she's 0.0001 doesn't make it right to call her Pocahontas. Hold on, let me finish.
It also doesn't make it right for her to claim that she's Native American because she isn't.
Okay, I listened to you. Let me finish. And 5%. If someone's 5% African American, you going to condone using the N-word?
5% is much different than 0.0001.
If you're 0.0001 African American, is that okay?
I don't believe that the N-word and Pocahontas are on even remotely the same level.
You're okay with people screaming at her Pocahontas through an airport? You're on record saying that. You're okay with that?
You're on record saying that the N-word is the same as Pocahontas?
I didn't say that. I didn't
say
that.
You did just say that.
No,
you
I
tried
didn't
to make a comparison. They're not even close to the same thing.
I didn't say that. And
I have no problem with people making fun of her because she was pretending to be Native American when she was 0.00001 Native American.
Because of that situation, you are okay with people following her through the airport in Reno. You are okay with people screaming out Pocahontas to her. That is harassment. Following her with signs, screaming at her at the top of their lungs. You're okay with that. You're okay with that kind of behavior. Even just because it's their right, you're okay with it.
It is their right.
I didn't say it wasn't.
Okay. I'm not particularly okay with them following her. Actually following her.
Well, that's where I have my problem.
But protesting, I'm okay with protesting. I'm okay with using the word Pocahontas because, again, she brought it on herself by claiming to be a Native American when she clearly is not.
Okay. Well, again, to me, that is irrelevant to my opinion. I mean, you're entitled to yours. I just think that's irrelevant to the way I feel about it. We'll take your phone calls, 257-5396. I think these people are a bunch of losers. You're standing there with your MAGA hat and your signs, regardless of your political affiliation. You're following Elizabeth Warren throughout the Reno airport. You're screaming at her, yelling at her. Get a frickin' life. Don't you have something better to do than to harass this woman? 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Andrew. Andrew, what do you think about this?
What's up, Andrew?
Hey, Brian, good morning. Good morning, JD.
What's up?
Well, I mean, pretty much I've been listening to you for about a month and a half, and you're pretty well informed. But, I mean, you have to understand, Brian, and I know JD has probably already known what I'm going to say. Reno is like probably 90% Republican.
Mm-hmm.
So to think that would surprise you, Brian, is a little bit surprising.
It doesn't surprise me. No, hold on a second, Andrew. I'll let you finish. I'll let you make your other point. It doesn't surprise me because I think there are idiots out there in the world. There are a lot of morons. Just because you are Republican, if it was 100% Republican, I would still feel the same way. You know, you didn't have a lot of Republicans at the airport, but you had about a dozen morons who decided to scream at her Pocahontas, and I just think they're a bunch of idiots. I think they're losers that have nothing better to do with their time. To me, it's not that I'm surprised. I just think they're morons. That's all.
Well, I agree with you, Brian, but my point was going to be, I mean, I don't think this is debatable. When you are running for office, especially the highest office in this country, and the way the country has devolved into this, you know, name calling and back and forth isn't accomplishing anything.
I agree.
You know what I wish the politicians would state what they're going to do if they get into office, what their policies are going to be, and what their plan is, and just forget all the name calling, forget all the screaming and yelling.
Well, I agree.
I'm all about the First Amendment. I know JD is going to agree with me on this one. I'm all about the First Amendment, but you know, it's just like everything you really ever needed to know about life, Brian and JD, you should have learned by the time you got to first grade. Like, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing.
Well, you're right about that. You're right about that, Andrew. I would echo that to Donald Trump.
Eloquently stated.
Yes, Andrew, thank you for the call.
Thanks for the call, Andrew.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
257-5396 is the number to call. Andrew makes some good points there. Let's go to John. John, what's going on?
Hey, John.
Hey, guys. Hey, I just want to make a comment about the Pocahontas issue. I was told my whole life that I'm 100% Italian. I have told everyone I'm 100% Italian. Turns out that I'm only about 60% Italian.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with Elizabeth Warren. For her whole life, since she was a baby, people have told her that she was part Indian. Being from Oklahoma, that's not a stretch, you know. And now she gets a DNA test. It turns out she's not as Indian as thought. And I don't really think people need to hold that against her. That's all.
I will say this: you're at least 60% Italian. She is 0.0001%. You're about 600,000 times more Italian than she is Native American.
John, you want to respond to that? All right, John. Thank you for the call. While I understand what you're saying, that to me, and this is my opinion, to me that has nothing to do with the point that I'm trying to make, which is it's wrong to be screaming this at her, whether she's 0.000001 or 100% Indian. It's wrong. It's not proper behavior, number one. And number two, you have nothing better to do in your life than to follow somebody in an airport, scream Pocahontas, wearing your stupid MAGA hat and signs. Don't impeach. Don't impeach. Why don't you get a frickin' life? And why don't you do something with your life, you dumb Reno people that were there? Why don't you, I don't know, I was trying to figure out a name for the Reno people. I don't know, the Renos? The local Renos. Does that make sense? I don't know. 257.
Yeah, just make fun of them for being able to enjoy Lake Tahoe so often, because that's terrible.
Well, no, I'm talking about the people that were in the airport. Let's go to Frank. Frank, what do you think about this? Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Frank?
Well, just the fact that she lied and cheated to get into one of the Ivy League schools, Harvard, Yale. I know for a fact that you don't have a right to be a Marxist or a communist in this country.
So you're one of those people that are defending those people in the airport screaming or calling Pocahontas?
That's the mildest I would do. I would put her on a boat and say, go see what country will have you. Get the flock of seagulls out of my country.
What are you talking about? She's an American. What do you mean?
Oh, you think an American is a birthright? Well, you need to read up on what won Benjamin Franklin.
Uh-huh.
It's a frame of mind, and her frame is wrong.
How many drinks have you had this morning, Frank? Be honest. Over under, I'm going to say 4.5. How many?
Well, no, I just happened to pour one glass.
Oh
of
yeah, sure, right. And I'm 18 years old still.
Frank,
yeah, okay, Frank.
Good day, Jim.
Yeah, good day. I'll send your Klan outfit through the mail, you racist pig.
Frank, I believe you.
Yeah, I believe him.
Good call, Frank.
257-5396. Let's go to Linda. Linda, what's going on?
Hey, Linda.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing
Good.
great.
What's
I'm
up?
just curious how you feel when they harass Elizabeth Warren, or Pocahontas, as they're saying.
Yes.
Do you feel the same way when I'm afraid to even wear my mega hat because I'll get brutalized? I'm afraid to go out with it.
There's nothing wrong with wearing it.
There was actually someone kicked out of Disneyland for wearing a mega hat.
So I will answer Linda's question, and I'll be very honest on this, Linda. There is nothing wrong with you wearing your hat. I do not support anybody harassing you for wearing a hat that has a political affiliation.
And do you remember when Maxine Waters stated that that her supporters should follow Trump and cause problems at his administrative meeting? So again, this is not a new thing.
Yeah. Linda, that's
Right.
the most honest I could be.
Okay, I had a question. I called last week. You said you gave me all your reasons why you can't stand Trump or hate Trump.
Yes.
Okay, now one of them, the infidelity before he was president and all that stuff, cheating on your wife or whatever. I'm just curious how you feel about Bill Clinton when he was married and the president and in the Oval Office. How do you feel about him?
Why do you think I would feel differently?
Well, I don't. I'm just curious because people after Bill Clinton,
I believe he deserved.
Everybody just still loved him. They loved him.
I believe he deserved to be impeached. I mean, that's the simple explanation I can give you. I absolutely believe what his behavior was ridiculous and improper and it embarrassed the country, and I believe he deserved to be impeached. Here's how I feel about presidents, Linda. I think the way you live your life before you're president is probably the type of president you're going to be. Donald Trump lived a reckless life. He broke the law. And he cheated on several of his wives. He is a dishonest man, and he is a disgusting human being when you just look at his language. And I'm not surprised this is the type of president you get. If you like his policies, that's fine. I'll respect your opinion. But, listen, I'm pretty equal and fair when it comes to somebody on the left and the right. And I didn't agree with Barack Obama with many of his policies, but I'll tell you one thing about Barack Obama that I always tell people. He's a good husband. He is a good father. He is a respectful man, and that has nothing to do with policy and just a human being. Now, some people vote differently than me. Some people vote just based on policy. I believe the president is more than just policy. It should be about leadership, and it should be about being a role model towards kids, younger people. And in my opinion, Linda, Donald Trump is not that man. I appreciate the phone call, 257-5396. I'll try to squeeze in one more here. Let's go to Aaron, or do we have Sid? Sid, what's going on?
Hey, guys. How you doing? Hey, I just wanted to touch on Elizabeth Warren real quick, because when I was a kid, I was told the same thing, that my grandfather had high cheekbones and maybe he had a little Cherokee in him, which I thought was very exciting and cool. But the idea that I would leverage that to get into Harvard, to be the only woman of color in Harvard Law, as far as in the faculty, I just think it's disgusting, really. I think
it's despicable.
It's the worst thing you could do.
What do you think about Jared Kushner's father? And listen, I don't disagree with you, but what do you think about Jared Kushner? And we only got about 30 seconds. Jared Kushner's father donating
He's a scumbag.
All right, so we agree.
There's no doubt about it. And he's what is it called? A slumlord.
Sid, I agree. Sid, hold on. We got to take a break. Sid,
okay.
Make no mistake about it, Sid. I'm not an Elizabeth Warren supporter. Okay, I just want to be fair on that. I don't disagree with what you just said. I would not vote for her, but I also do not agree with the people that were following her in the airport acting like morons.
So
no, they're idiots.
Warren,
know that.
Thank you for the call, Sid. I appreciate it.
Warren against Trump. How do you vote?
I don't have time to answer that now. We got to take a break, JD. All right, we'll take a quick break and be back. I will answer that question. That's a fair question on the other side of the break. Coming up next, Danny Tarkanian thinks that this whole Donald Trump situation is a nothing burger. We're going to do battle coming up next segment. Take a break. Be back right after this. You're listening to The Vegas Tape.